This incident happened a few years back. At the time I was 20 years old and had been working at Subway for a while. I've always been one of those people who can't help but be nice to everyone even if they creep me out. I had been working there for a couple of months when this guy, I would say 35 to 40 years old, would come in every day for lunch. He was fascinated by me. I am short and petite with a few piercings on my face, and he would always ask me questions, nothing specific, just the basic type of questions about my life. But mostly he seemed interested in my piercings. Generally, he would sit down after I rang him out and watch me from his table for 2 hours, non-stop, just staring at me while I helped other customers. This went on for about 2 weeks. Every day he would ask for my number, saying he wanted to give me some new jewelry for my piercings, but I always politely declined. One day I was alone in the store because my manager had to run to the bank. We were really slow that day, so I was just in the back room messing around on my phone. I heard the door chime, but when I looked out, no one was there. I thought this was a bit odd when suddenly I saw this man walk past the front of the store really quickly, like he was in a hurry. The store phone rang. Me. Thanks for calling Subway. How can I help you? Him. This is the girl with the nice piercings, right? Me. Yes? Who is this? Him. Are you alone in the back room right now? Are you working by yourself? At this point I got really creeped out and knew it was him. I immediately hung up the phone and texted my manager about the situation so she would hurry back. He called again, this time asking me very weird questions like, what would I do with him in a room with the door locked, asking if I had a boyfriend, and why was I playing hard to get. Those kind of weird, creepy questions. My manager did thankfully hurry back, and I told her everything. By this time I was really freaking out. I felt safer now that I wasn't there alone. In the middle of the lunch rush, he called again. This time my manager answered, and to this day she has never told me what he said to her. But by the look on her face, it scared her. She told him if he ever called again or showed up, she would call the police. I thought that was the end of it, but no chance. I was dead wrong. 1 week later, I was clocking out and getting ready to walk to my car, which was parked in the front. When I look outside, there he was. He was standing at my car looking inside of it. I was an idiot because I had left the back door of my car unlocked. I watched him crawl inside and shut the door. The creep was trying to hide on my fucking back seat and do God knows what to me when I got in. I called my manager, who locked the front door of our store, and called the police. When they arrived, they had to pretty much drag him out of my car, and he was arrested. On him they found a butcher knife, rope, and a rag with chloroform on it. The scary thing is, if I hadn't looked up when I did, I would probably be dead right now. I don't drink, but I frequented the bar by my house just to meet my neighbors, so to speak. I knew almost everyone there. It's a small bar tucked in a shopping-type strip behind a standalone restaurant. My friend who brought their dogs to the bar asks me to watch them while he runs into the bar to get a drink. While I'm watching his dog, a man I've never met before or seen at the bar asks me if the dogs are mine. I let him know they aren't, and that they are my friend's dogs. That's it. All he said. All I said. He walked away and I went about my business. 2 a.m. rolls around and the bar is closing. I say my goodbyes and head to my car parked on the other side of the Mexican restaurant, out of sight of the bar. Dumb, I know, but there was no other parking. I'm sitting in my car looking for the right song when I feel someone watching me. It's the man who asked about the dogs, motioning to me from his car. I crack the window to hear what he wants because I'm not yet too scared, but I am cautious. He asks me, what am I about to do? Where am I going? Do I want to go home with him? Can he come home with me? To which I reply to all his questions, no, absolutely not. Now I'm on edge. I figure I'll let him back out and leave the parking lot first so he can't follow me. He doesn't. It's a stalemate. We are sitting there for way too long. The parking lot is becoming more and more empty, and I don't want to be left here with him staring at me through the window. So I pull out in a direction behind his car and grab his number plate. I keep repeating it over and over in my head just in case. He pulls out behind me. We leave the parking lot and hit the first light. I tell myself not to panic. Anyone leaving this bar has to hit this light and he could go any direction. He takes a left after me. Next light we come up on, I make it through, but he doesn't. However, my turn for my neighborhood is right after that light, and he will see me turn in from there. So I keep driving, and luckily I live 2 more lights down from the police station for my district. I pull into the parking lot for a few minutes and turn back around and head to the gas station near my house to get gas for the morning. As I'm pulling into the gas station, he's pulling out. My luck, right? Should have waited longer. I pull into a parking spot and watch my mirror as he flips around and comes back to the gas station and pulls into the spot next to me. I'm already in reverse, and I leave out the side entrance to the gas station and go down to the road I was just on. I'm waiting at the light to turn left, and I can see him at the entrance that meets the road I'm turning left on. He's just sitting there at the gas station exit waiting for me. He could have pulled out 1,000,000,000 times. There were no cars. My lights turn green and I make my left, and he pulls out in front of me and goes really slow. It clicked. He did this so I'd pass him and it wouldn't be suspicious that he was following me because I'm the one that passed him, right? Wrong. I said, forget it, let's go, dude, and passed him. I drive down the road using my turn signals each time I needed to. Drive nice and slow. Make sure to not lose him at any of the lights. I turn down a side street. He's behind me. I turn into the police station parking lot, look in my rearview mirror, and watch him gas it down a residential neighborhood, because at that point he knew I knew. As soon as I parked, I cried my eyes out. The entire time I was calm, collected, and as aware as I could be, but as soon as he was gone, I was an hysterical mess. A volunteer patrol officer found me and took me inside, where I gave them the accurate license number and the make, model, and generation of his vehicle. They ran the plates and confirmed the plates met my description. I was actually surprised about how the whole thing was handled. I was surprised they would do a report even though nothing illegal technically happened, I don't think. I'm surprised they didn't question if the hysterical woman crying uncontrollably was inebriated or lying. They even had a patrol car follow me to my house and wait outside for me to check each of my rooms for an intruder. This incident changed me, and I no longer go to the bar I used to frequent. I clicked through to my profile page, staring intensely at the screen. Deep in thought, I pressed the palms of my hands to my tired eyes and let out a sigh. The decision weighed heavily on me as I hovered over the Edit Personal Info button. With a deep breath, I couldn't believe that after all these months, I was actually going to do this. Under relationship status, I paused and took another deep breath. It was a moment of truth. Dave and I had been together for nearly 2 years, but his possessive nature and constant harassment had worn me down. The girl who had once been the life and soul of the party was hardly recognizable to my friends, pale and sunken-eyed. For the past year, I had hardly seen most of my friends. Dave insisted on reading all my messages and emails. Every outing with them resulted in complaints from him, forcing me to make a choice, him or them. It was only with the support of Beth, my BFF, that I mustered the courage to move out of the flat I shared with Dave and onto Beth's couch. As I selected single and clicked save, I felt a mixture of liberation and sadness, knowing it was time to reclaim my life. After nearly a week of indulging in nothing but sleep and TV, there was a resurgence of life in me. Finally feeling up to resuming my online activities, I logged into my Facebook account, but to my dismay, the first thing that caught my attention was a staggering 56 messages, all from Dave. Some messages were pleading, while others were downright threatening. My email inbox was the same, with 3 or 4 messages flooding in daily, some spanning pages and pages. They alternated between begging, pleading, cajoling, and adopting an aggressive tone. The situation escalated when the relentless phone calls began. Initially happening once or twice a day, they soon intensified to 5 or 10 times, even disrupting my peace at 2 in the morning. Faced with desperation, I decided to take action and changed my SIM card, getting a new number in the process. What a hassle. Taking no chances, I severed ties with him on all my social media accounts, ensuring he couldn't reach me through emails. I even went so far as to block his email address. I couldn't help but think, thank goodness he doesn't know where I'm staying. A few weeks later, I started feeling more confident. I was making friends both online and offline, and the idea of going out didn't seem as daunting anymore. I had connected with a couple of new guys on the internet, 2 of whom mentioned that they always went to Tiger's on Fridays, so we all decided to head out to Tiger's for some drinks. As they playfully pushed me toward the bar, I couldn't help but smile and say, "Wait guys, I have to foursquare this. It's an historic moment. I'm single and on the prowl." They patiently waited while I checked in, and soon enough it was margaritas all around. After an hour or so of chatting and laughing, I felt really relaxed and happy. I let my eyes wander around the room and suddenly I froze. Dave had just walked into the bar. "What's wrong?" Lisa asked, noticing the expression on my face. "It's Dave," I replied, "but he never comes here." "Here, swap seats with me," Tanya suggested. "He won't see you if your back is to him." I followed Tanya's advice, though deep down I knew it wouldn't make any difference. Dave had already spotted me. Feeling uneasy, I excused myself to go to the bathroom, and as I washed my hands, I suddenly felt an arm around my neck. I was dragged across the floor, spun around, and pinned to the wall by my throat. "You're mine," Dave asserted, his grip tightening. "Don't forget that. You will always be mine. I will always know where you are, and you'll never be rid of me." I struggled free, rushed out of the bathroom past my friends, tears streaming down my face. "I'm out of here, guys," I shouted. Beth followed me and caught up with me in the parking lot. "Here, sweetie, let me drive you home," she said. As we drove back, my emotions calmed, and I started wondering how Dave had found me. It couldn't be Foursquare because I had removed him, so what then? Maybe he had spotted me by chance and followed me. That must be it. Over the next week, I remained on edge, constantly looking over my shoulder wherever I went. Not wanting to risk another encounter with Dave, I opted to stay home and seek companionship through online socializing. I spent my time talking with friends, sharing details about my day, my life, and my thoughts. Occasionally, I thought I heard strange noises in the garden, but I dismissed them, attributing them to my fragile state of mind. There was no way Dave could find me here. He had no idea where I lived. My mental state didn't improve. I continued to believe I caught glimpses of Dave wherever I went. I started jumping at shadows, losing weight, and soon I appeared as pale and frightened as ever. The final blow came on a Monday morning. My friends were staring at me in shock and disbelief. "What is it, guys?" I asked. "Why are you looking at me like that?" Beth began hesitantly. "Not sure if you want to see this?" "See what?" I responded, feeling horrified. "This!" exclaimed Ben, the class clown, turning his laptop screen toward the whole class. I gasped. On the screen was a nude picture of me, but it wasn't me. My head was there, but definitely not my body. I would never let anyone take a picture like that. Scrawled across the bottom of the image were the words, "Call for a good time," with my name, phone number, and address. My eyes filled with tears as I cried out, "It's not me, I promise, guys, please." I ran out. Beth and the other girls caught up with me. "Don't worry, we didn't think it was you. This has to be Dave's doing." "I know," I sobbed, "but what can I do?" "He must have photoshopped that picture and put it up using a fake Facebook profile," said Julia, who was studying computer science. "I've heard of this happening before. Have you made a lot of new online friends recently?" "Yes," I said, "loads. But how could I possibly know who on Facebook is fake? I have 500 friends, and how did he find out Beth's address and my phone number?" I cried. "Well," said Julia, "if he did friend you on social media, He did it using a fake persona that would appeal to you. Once you accepted the friend request, he would simply pull all your information off your profiles. This is just hopeless, I said. Nothing is hopeless, said Beth. The first thing we do is go to the police. In the meanwhile, Beth had also called her security company, explained what had happened, and asked them to patrol the street 24/7. They said there had been some strange vehicles parked in the road, and had gladly agreed. At the police station, they explained to me that I was the victim of cyber stalking, and that I needed to learn how to secure my online presence and be very careful who I befriended. They also assured me that the cybercrime unit could forensically trace the malicious imposter and prosecute him for wrongdoing. Within a month, I had secured every account I had online, changed my number, and moved into a flat of my own. With the help of my friends and counselors, I was learning to deal with the trauma and get on with my life, while Dave languished behind bars.